Hey, what's up, my little tattletales? Yo, sit down and have a seat. Yes, we are talking about Wendy Williams again. Guys, things have gone too bad, from worse to bad or bad to worse. I don't know. Listen, things are just horrible right now, but I have to get you an update. More info is coming out on Wells Fargo, Lori Schiller, and how they basically decided that Wendy's son, her only son, the heir of her fortune, is not worthy of anything. But guess what? Wendy's son, Viola Sean, Kevin's lawyer, he needs to leave those people alone, issued a statement actually saying what that $100,000 was for. And guess what? It was all for Wendy. And more importantly, paparazzi are following Wendy around, stalking her while she looks like she is hitting rock bottom. Now, I know the pictures are all over the internet. I haven't posted them because first of all, everybody else posted them. And second of all, they just seemed a little predatory. You guys, I'm calling it now. If you don't know about Wendy's guardianship, it's not a conservatorship like Britney had. Conservatorship is when they completely take over your life. Guardianship, very close. They take over all your financial assets. Now, if you're like me, you're like, well, baby, if you control my money, you control everything. Yeah, it's close, but it's not the same. I've been having this theory for the past few months that they have isolated Wendy, done all this stuff, refused to pay any of her bills. Almost everybody around her is working for free. They're letting her hit rock bottom. And not only that, they have paparazzi following her around 24 hours a day. So she looks crazy, kooky, all around Zuki, right? The last thing is they're saying that she was photographed getting vodka in the middle of the night. I know she shouldn't be because Wendy has eating problems. Wendy has drinking problems. But let's also not forget that even with her smoking, but what do the pictures prove? They don't really prove anything except for she's drinking again, which isn't good. But you guys, the guardianship there was a temporary one from March until I believe June. In June or July, they were supposed to revisit whether the guardianship would be made permanent or just extended. The guardianship was extended. Now, the guardianship has not been made permanent. It just keeps getting extended because Wendy needs better lawyers. She needs to go to see better doctors. The court records are sealed, so nobody really knows what's going on. It's just speculation. I'm speculating too. However, I do think that they hope that Wendy hits rock bottom so they can move in with a full-on conservatorship. And that's why they have her wandering the streets with no money in her pocket, looking crazy. And there's always a paparazzi there to get a snap, just in case we forget. Anyway, that's my theory. Well, that's my life. Hope you enjoyed it. That's actually my theory, but let's get into how Kevin Jr. is hitting back at all the hoopla with Lori Schiller and Wells Fargo allegedly leaking that the reason they froze her accounts is because Kevin Jr. spent $100,000 of his mom's money. Now listen, a lot of you guys were not you guys, but some people were in my comments talking about, oh my God, he needs to learn financial responsibility. That's a lot of money. And I said, not when your mom's worth somewhere between 40 and 100 million. But guess what? Kevin Jr.'s actually come out and said it's all cap. That 100,000 that was spent was for my mother, her team of doctors, and all this stuff. And he went on to say that story that when Lori was like, he tried to ask me to pay a bill, and that's why I locked the account. Kevin Jr. is like, girl, if you don't get out of here with that BS, because guess what? That's the way we always did things. And as a matter of fact, they decided when Wendy was going to buy her only son and heir to her fortune a condo, instead of paying rent, she was going to literally get the equity and just make the mortgage payment. Lori decided he wasn't worthy. Y'all, let's get into this mess. Oh, by the way, did you guys hit the like button? Also, I'm almost at 100,000. If you guys can hit that subscription button, I would appreciate it so much. All right, let's get into these reports, right? So LaShawn is saying that Wendy Williams has been left to die by ex-financial advisor. Now, get this. LaShawn, very, very close to Kevin. You know I do not trust that rockhead man as far as I can throw him. But I will say this. I am kind of happy LaShawn is defying the judge's order. The judge literally said that if she tried to talk to Wendy again or about Wendy, he literally said that he was going to move to have her disbarred. Now, I don't know if he can actually have her disbarred, but I will say, I'm glad she is leaking at least this side. Again, with Wendy, it's complicated. I think all sides are wrong, but let's get into this report and I'll give you my comments, okay? Anyway, right? They say Wendy Williams, former attorney, claims the talk show host was left to die by her ex-financial manager. LaShawn Thomas tells Page Six exclusively in a lengthy statement that Wells Fargo financial advisor Lori Schiller, who no longer works for Wendy's but is embroiled in her lawsuit against the banks, is attempting to muddy the waters by allegedly contributing a false report that Kevin Jr. misused her Amex Express card. Now, LaShawn says the real issue is that Wells Fargo, through their advisor, refused to grant Wendy access to her own accounts. This includes the right to check her balance. No bank should have the authority to do that. I know that's right. No one attempted to gain access to any of Wendy's accounts. She even goes on to say that Lori Schiller, right, and former manager Bernie Young were the only people with access, and they left Wendy to die. Go on, listen. LaShawn went on to say, but because Wendy has no access to any money, any funds, she was forced to use her Amex for all her living expenses, including flights to and from New York for her doctor's appointments, groceries, etc. Now get this. Since Wendy got sick, her 22-year-old son, Kevin Hunter Jr., has stepped in to help her both mentally and physically with the assistance of a team of doctors. Kevin coordinated all of her appointments, made sure she attended all her appointments, cooked and cleaned for his mother. He absolutely loves his mother without question, and no one should place any blame or allegations of wrongdoing at his feet. So this is the mess that I'm talking about. They said that Kevin spent $100,000 on his mom's credit card, right? But now we come to find out that they had locked up all her money and all Wendy had was a credit card. So all of her doctors, all this, Wendy's been in and out of rehab. Her doctor's notes, you know her doctor stuff cost a lot. So now on top of that, you literally froze every single account. How did you expect this woman to live? How? Listen. Now get this. They also talk about when that report that he used the card without authorization and demanded that Lori pay it. They said the validity of the report is unclear, but it's pegged to an anonymous source. But the University of Miami student, this is Kevin, denies the claims in a statement. Now, he said it didn't happen. I didn't freeze. Right? They said Lori's responsibility was to pay all of Wendy's bills and Kevin Jr. bills. Kevin has always reached out to Lori for payment of bills. If anyone, Wendy or Kevin, needed money, they had to contact Lori so that she can initiate payment. Now get this. Page Six has learned that Wendy wanted to buy Kevin Jr. a condo in Miami, right? And that ultimately would lead to the guardianship she is now living under by the New York court. A source tells us that Wendy went to Schiller to work out the details of a real estate purchase because Lori allegedly promised that Wendy could avoid commission fees. A month before Kevin Jr.'s lease was up, however, he got a call from the landlord and said he never received an offer and the purchase price had skyrocketed. Lori confirms these claims in her statement and explains, right? LaShawn confirms these claims in her statement and claims that Lori out of nowhere informed Kevin Jr. she could no longer speak with him without Wendy's written authorization because the verbal one was no longer sufficient. In response, Williams asked to be taken to a local Wells Fargo's branch to submit written authorization and power of attorney. However, LaShawn is saying that the local branch manager refused to accept the power of attorney. Again, I go back to my original thing. Wells Fargo is an ish. What they're doing to Wendy should be illegal. But LaShawn and Kevin, there's a part of this story missing. Wendy just got snakes on every side except her son. Now, We know Lori said she wouldn't talk to anybody unless Wendy was alone. The most interesting part, though, is, right? Lori ultimately agreed to fly to Miami to meet with Wendy's because Wendy was like, come speak to me face to face if you don't think I'm good. But she never arrived. Instead, Lori locked Wendy out of all her accounts. Lori restricted all access to every single account. Wendy was even restricted from going to the bank and personally withdrawing funds. They said Wendy, who's worked hard for her money, is left penniless. You guys, I don't know what's going on, but I know something bad's going on. I called it from the beginning. Lori, Sheila, 8-ish. LaShawn and Kevin are leaving out a piece of this. But you guys, for all you people saying, oh my God, he should have been spending $100,000. He was spending it on his money. They didn't give Wendy money enough to make sure that she could stay clean and healthy and sober. Wendy now, when she was down in Miami, she was looking good, feeling healthy, doing whatever. She's now in New York making vodka runs in the middle of the night while paparazzi are stalking her. Y'all, you know what? I didn't want to believe it. They're going to try to Britney Spears, Wendy Williams. Literally, we got to do something about this, but what? You guys, I don't know. I'm following the story. I'm seeing what's going on. This is just sad. And the fact that Wells Fargo is literally doing a hit and smear campaign, it looks like, according to Kevin Jr., to make her only heir look like a shady opportunist loser because he spent $100,000 over months on his mom's medical care because they literally froze up all her accounts. They refused to pay that bill. And Lori balked at the fact that Wendy's only son, that she wanted to buy him an apartment. Man. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you later. Bye.